Hello viewers, welcome to online course on mathematics for engineering field. Myself Sanjay Vishwas, Assistant Professor, Department of Applied Science and Humanities, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology. Here is my details of contact information. Whenever you find any difficulties regarding the subject or online course, you can contact freely or send mail to my mail ID sanjay.vishwas@gnit.ac.in. We will continue our discussion of complex function. So let's quickly recall in the last class. So in the last class we have discussed about complex point set, interior point and exterior point, and boundary point of a set. Then we have discussed about related neighborhood and neighborhood of a point, limit point, and some example of the limit point, interior point and exterior point. Then I have discussed unity, limit of a function, and existence of limit, and some properties of continuity, and some theorem of continuity. We are going to discuss about lecture 2, that is introduction of function of differentiability and analytic function. So here is the content of lecture 2. First we will study with differentiability and some example of differentiability and theorem on differentiability. Next we will going to discuss about analytic function. So in that section we have discussed about analytic function at that point, analytic function in the whole region, and we will go to some example of analytic function, then singularities of analytic function and zeros of analytic function. So next we are going to discuss about Cauchy-Riemann equation. So Cauchy-Riemann equation or Cauchy-Riemann condition. So this actually the sufficient condition of Cauchy-Riemann equation, and then we'll go to talk about the necessary condition of Cauchy-Riemann equation and some example of analytic function and Cauchy-Riemann equation. So first of all we are going to discuss about differentiability. So what is a differentiable function? So differentiable function in a real analysis, so a function is differentiable at the point x is equal to 0, then it can be written as limit z h tends to 0 f of z minus f of 0 by z minus 0. Okay, this is the differentiable function of real analysis, and this is the same as the complex analysis. So in a complex analysis the differentiable function is actually a function f of z is defined in a certain domain D, and D is the domain, and domain is the set of complex point. So the complex domain is either finite domain or is infinite domains. In a finite domain there are finite number of points, and in a infinite domain there are infinite number of points. So a function f of z is equal to f of z defined in a certain domain D is said to be differentiable at z is equal to z0 if the limit z tends to z0 f of z minus f of z0 by z minus z0 exists. This is the mathematical expansion of limiting value. So limit z tends to 0 f z minus f of z0 by z minus z0. If the limit is exist, then we will say the function is differentiable in the complex plane. Okay, so that is if fz minus f of z0 by z minus z0 tends to a unique limit as z tends to z0 along any path in the domain. So there are infinite number of paths for infinite points. So if for the different path, if the limiting value are different, limiting value are same, then we'll say the function is differentiable. Okay, and this is denoted by f dash 0 z0, that is at z is equal to z0 the differentiable function can be written as f dash z0 is equal to limit z tends to z0 f of z minus f of z0 by z minus z0. This is actually the mathematical expansion of differentiability on the complex plane or the organ plane. Okay. Next we are going to discuss about some theorem on differentiability. The first theorem is, if a function is differentiable at a point, then it is continuous. And same thing happen in the real analysis. So in the real analysis, if the function is differentiable at any point in the real plane, then it will be continuous. Okay, but the converse part of the theorem is not true. So that is, in the complex plane, if the function is differentiable at any point, then I will say it is continuous. Okay, but if the function which is continuous is not necessarily, it will be differentiable. This is the theorem. So I will take an example on this theorem. So the example is actually, or we will prove this theorem. We consider the function f of z is equal to z bar, and you know z bar is actually the conjugate of z, and you know z is equal to x plus iy, be a complex point on the organ plane or the complex plane. So and z bar is equal to x minus iy. So z bar is the conjugate of z. So we are going to prove that this function is continuous, but it is not differentiable. Okay, so you know the continuity, this is the expression of continuity. So the definition of continuity is at the point z is equal to 0 is f of z modulus of f of z minus f of 0 is less than epsilon whenever modulus of z minus 0 is less than delta. Then I will say f of z is continuous at that point. Okay, so here f of z minus f of 0, so f z is equal to, you know, mod of z, z bar, and f of 0 is equal to 0. So at the point 0, this function is, the functional value is 0. So f of z minus f of 0 is equal to modulus of z bar minus 0 and is equal to, so okay, so z bar is equal to modulus of z bar, and you know modulus of z is equals to root over of x square plus y square, and modulus of z bar is same as modulus of z. So modulus of z bar is as well root over of x square plus y square. So modulus of z bar is equal to modulus of z, and this expression is less than epsilon where modulus of z minus 0 is less than delta, when delta is equals to epsilon, and you know delta and epsilon are the very small quantity. So for that we will say f of z is equal to z bar is continuous at z is equal to 0. So next we are going to discuss about the differentiability of the function at z is equal to 0. So at z is equal to 0, f dash 0 is equal to limit z tends to 0 f of z minus f of 0 by z minus 0. You know, this is the mathematical expansion of differentiability. If the limit is exist for then we'll say the function is differentiable. Otherwise this function, that is the f dash 0, actually f dash 0 does not exist. So if the function, that is f dash z, is not exist, then we'll say the function f of z is not differentiable at z is equal to 0. So limit z tends to 0 f of z minus f of 0 by z minus 0. So it will be, or it can be written as limit z tends to 0 where f of z is equal to z bar and f of 0 is equal to 0 by z minus 0. So z bar by z. So z bar by z is this function or this limit does not exist. Why it is not exist? So I have already mentioned in the previous class, this limit is not exist. Okay, so why? So for a different path, you know, for the different path, the limiting value, when the limiting value are different, then I will say this limit is not exist. So z bar is equal to, you know, x minus iy, and z is equal to x plus iy. Okay, so when we put x is equal to 0, we have to find the limiting value, as well as when we put y is equal to 0, we can find the limiting value. Okay, So so for the different path, that is x is equal to 0, we have to find a limiting value, and which is different from when we put x is equal to y is equal to 0. So if we put x is equal to 0, we can find a limiting value, and this limiting value is not same as when we put y is equal to 0. That is, for the different path, the limiting value are different. Okay, that is, this function, that is f dash 0, the limiting value of f dash 0 does not exist. That is, the function is not differentiable at that point. Okay. Next we are going to talking about the theorem 2. So theorem 2 is basically a function f of z is equal to f of z is equal to u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y, where u and v are the function of xy. And these are the differentiable function. Okay, and then u and v are also differentiable. Moreover, that f dash z is equal to ux plus I into vx. So ux and vx are the differentiable with respect to x and y, x, okay, differential function, and as well as f dash z is equal to minus I into v ux plus vy. Okay. So proof of this theorem, we will going to talk about the proof of this theorem. So this is the differentiable function f dash z is equal to f dash z is equal to limit del z tends to 0. Another mathematical expansion of differentiable function, f dash z is equal to limit del z tends to 0 f of z plus delta z minus f of z by delta z. So here delta z tends to 0 along any path. Okay, so let delta z is equal to h along the real axis. So delta z is actually the complex point, and where the real part and imaginary part exist. So I will take delta z is equal to h, and h is the real axis. Okay, or we can take imaginary axis as well. So first of all, I will take the real axis for the first expression. Okay, so when we take delta z is equal to h is tends to 0 along the real axis, we will find f dash z is equal to limit delta z tends to 0 f of z plus h minus f of 0 by h. Okay, so so limit so this expression can be written as limit h tends to 0, and f of z is equal to f of z is equal to u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y. So if we put z as z plus h, then the expression will be changed, and here the second coordinate is same, that is y is same, but the first coordinate will be changed. Okay, so the first coordinate is x is replaced x plus h. So f of z plus h is can be written as u of x plus h comma y plus I into v of x plus h comma y. Okay, and f of z is same as this. So f of z is equal to u of x comma y plus I into v of x comma y by h. So this expression can be written as okay, I will take first and third term. Okay, so u of x plus h comma y minus u of x comma y by h, and second for the second case I will take second term and fourth term. So plus I into v of x plus h comma y minus v of x comma y by h. Okay, so this is actually the partial differentiation with respect to x. So u of x plus h comma y minus u of x comma y by h, partial differentiation, and it can be written as u of x. Okay, and similarly b of x plus h comma y minus b of x comma y by h can be written as this is the limit as limit h tends to 0. This is the partial differentiation of b with respect to x. So f dash x is actually can be written as ux plus I into b of x. Okay, this is the expression of f dash x. So hence the proof of first part actually. So f dash z is equal to x plus I into bx. So this expression, the first derivative of f of z is equals to the ux plus I into bx when delta z tends to, delta z is actually the real axis, that is, and you know this real axis is h and h tends to 0. And if we put delta z is equal to imaginary axis or the imaginary line or along the imaginary axis, then we'll say the function f dash z is equal to minus I into ux plus b of 1. Okay, so let's, so this one. So if delta z tends to 0 along the imaginary axis, so first, so in the previous slide, I have discussed about the differentiability for the function f of z with respect to the or along with the real axis. Okay, and in that case we will find f dash z is equal to x plus I into bx. In the second case, when we put delta z is equal to I into k along the y-axis, okay, delta z tends to 0 along the imaginary axis, that is delta z is equal to I comma I into y, I into k, okay, and where k tends to 0, that is delta z tends to 0, that means the k tends to 0, and I is the imaginary number, I is equal to root over of minus 1, you know. So a similar expression is here. So then f dash z is equal to limit k tends to 0 f of z plus ik minus f of z by ik. Okay, so in the real axis f can be written as the function can be written as a differential function, can be put f of z plus h minus f of z by h, and in the imaginary axis, and it will be changed and it will be written as f of z plus ik minus f of z by ik. Okay, so you know f of z plus ik is can be written as u of x comma y plus k. So actually in that case x is fixed but y is changed. Okay, so y is actually reduced to y plus k. So the f of x plus z plus ik can be written as u of x comma y plus k plus I into b of x comma y plus k. Okay, minus, and the f of z can be written as u of x comma y plus I into b of x comma y by ik. So now we'll take first term and third term for the first expression, and second and fourth for the second expression. Okay, so for the first expression, the first term is u of x comma y plus k minus u of x comma y by ik, and the second one we'll take second and fourth term. So I into limit k tends to 0, so b of x comma y plus k minus is actually minus I b of x comma y, okay, by ik. So I is common from second and fourth term, we will get this one. Okay, so from the second expression I cancel from numerator and denominator, and it will be this one. Okay, this limit k tends to 0 b of x comma y plus k minus b of x comma y by k, and this is actually the differentiable function with respect to y, the partial differential with respect to y, and the first expression is actually minus I into this is actually the differentiable function with respect to y for the function u. So the f dash z is can be written as, the first one is u in uy is a partial differentiation with respect to y, and second expression is actually the differentiable with respect to y for the function v. So in that case we will find f dash z is equal to minus I into uy plus vy. Okay, so that is, this theorem is basically is either if we take h tends to 0 along the real axis, then from this differentiation, and the differentiation is actually f dash z is equal to x plus I into v of x, and if we take delta z is equal to ik along the imaginary axis, then from this we define, or we find the differentiability of f of z, and it will be f dash z, and f dash z is equal to minus I into vx ux plus v. Next we are going to discuss about the analytic function at a point. So basically a function f of z is in a domain D is said to be analytic at the point z is equal to 0, z0, if there exists a neighborhood mod of z minus z0 is less than delta at all points of which the function is differentiable, that is f dash z exists. That means the if function f of z is analytic, okay, in a domain D. So in a domain D there exists a point, say z is equal to z0, and z is equal to z0 is a point in that circle. This is any arbitrary point. So we can draw a circle around the around z is equal to z0, around the point z0, okay, and z0 is the center of the circle. So in a neighborhood of z is equal to z0, there are infinite number of points, okay, or infinite number dotted portion in that circle. So if the function is differentiable in a neighborhood of z is equal to z0, that is in a neighborhood of z is equal to z0, there are infinite number of points. So for all points the function is differentiable, okay, then we will say the function is analytic at that point. So basically the function, the differentiable function and analytic function, there is a change, okay. This is not as same as differentiable function. So differentiable function is actually the function is differentiable at the point z is equal to z0, and z0 is a fixed point, but the analytic function at a point is actually the function is differentiable at z is equal to z0 as well as in a neighborhood of z0. So in a neighborhood of z0 there are infinite number of points. So function is differentiable at the point z is equal to z0 as well as in a neighborhood. So in a neighborhood of z0 there are infinite number of points. So function is differentiable z0 as well as in the around of z is equal to z0, the function is differentiable, okay. So this is the basic difference between analytic function and differentiable function at a point. So next we are going to study with analytic functions. So analytic function is basically a function f of z, we such that f of z exists at every point of the domain D, then f of z is said to be analytic in D. So that is okay, I will take a point z is equal to z0 where the function is analytic. So if the function is analytic at the point z is equal to z0 as well as z is equal to z1 as well as z is equal to z2 in a domain D. So if in a domain D there are infinite number of points, so for each point the function is analytic, then we will say the function is analytic in a domain D. And first one is analytic at a point, and second one is analytic function. So analytic function is actually the function is analytic, or function is exist at every point in a domain D, okay. And D is this set actually, and D is either a finite set or infinite set. So next we are going to discuss about the singular point. So singular point is actually if the function f of z is not analytic. So every point is not an analytic point, or so if the function is not analytic at that point z is equal to z0, then this point is called a singular point or singularity of a function, okay. So for example, say f of z is equal to 2z by z plus 3i. So this function is analytic except at the point z is equal to 3i minus 3i. So at the point z is equal to minus 3i, this function is not defined. That is, it's not analytic function. Okay. But except at z is equal to minus 3, this function is analytic. So, and next we are going to discuss about the zero of a point is actually, so this is the definition. A point z0 is called a zero of a function f of z if f of z is analytic at z is equal to 0 and f of z0. Okay, so we'll take an example. F of z is equal to 2z by z plus 3. So 0 of this function is if the numerator is 0, that is z is equal to 0. Okay, and is the so 0 can be found when the numerator is 0, and singularity can found when the denominator is 0. So when numerator is 0, then we'll say we'll find z is equal to 0. So z is equal to 0 is the 0 of this function, and z is equal to minus 3i where the function is not analytic, then it will be the singularity or singular point of f of z. Okay, and the function is analytic when there is no singularity, or except that point the function is analytic. Okay, so this is the basic difference between analytic function and analytic at a point, singular point, and 0 of a point. Okay.